After Friday's rain and yesterday's loss, Clayton State returns to the pitch this evening as they look to get their first win of the season against the Barry Bucks. Well, welcome everyone. We hope you're having a good long weekend, and we say hello. I'm Bill Schindler. As tuning in here tonight, we've got two fun teams to see: Clayton State and the Barry Bucks. Bucks coming into this match, we should say 1-0. Clayton State 0-1. They have that game scheduled for Friday. Well, it got rained out on Friday, got moved to yesterday. So they've got a bit of a turnaround. It should be interesting to see if we have rust or rest, or if they just keep going. I mean, it's one of those we're not quite sure what to expect here tonight as far as playing almost within a 24-hour period. At least the game was at 1 yesterday, so it's a little bit over 24 hours. But still, it's tough to do to at least change that up and then come back and do it just the next day. So anyway, here are the starters for Clayton State. Let's look at them first. So they're the home team. It'll be Bilal Knockley getting the start at forward with Ian Smith as well. We saw those two get the start yesterday. Also up front is Ryan King, who's actually facing his old team, was playing at Barry last year, so a little bit of a return for him, maybe some revenge tonight. Jake Stevens in the midfield with Connor Atkinson as well and Will Summerfield. They'll have Jordan Knight defensively and Jesse Parsons back there, joined by Alan Parker and Oscar Narvez. And in goal, once again, is Oliver Pinnell. He gave up 2 goals yesterday, but they played a very solid game, had a lot of pressure put on him. And both those goals came really within about 3 minutes of each other. Looking at the Barry Bucks, and I believe we'll do that after the national anthem, because I think that is coming up here in just a moment, so I don't want to get into those and then pause. So here's our national anthem. We'll pause for that, and then we will come back. Well, no, I'm sorry. Actually, they are continuing to do the lineup, so let's do the lineups with them. It'll be Frank Lustig at forward with Leo Awakeng and Thomas Combs for the Barry Bucks up front. It'll be Niall Patel in midfield. Pablo Georgakopoulos will be another midfielder. Hano Antoni, who is one of their top scorers, already 5 points. Watch out for him tonight. Manuel Perez, it'll be Mitchell Smith. Also, we'll see Jarrell Cato, Linus Fisher, and in goal, they'll have a different goalkeeper than they did just a game ago. No Bo Hogg. It'll be Michael Schiraldi in goal, the sophomore getting the start. So there you go. There's your starting lineups for both teams, for Barry and for Clayton State. And as the sun's setting, you can see we're looking right into the sun. It's kind of hot, but it's going to be a nice sunset. But we'll pause to honor America with our national anthem and be back in just a moment. So there you go, our national anthem. As we get set for soccer action here, I'm Bill Schindler. We thank you for tuning in. We'll give you some updates throughout the evening, too. I believe the women are in action. Actually, about now. We were told yesterday, and it turns out I think it was wrong. They meant to say Central Time. It was listed on the paper as Eastern Time. I was wondering about that. We thought maybe they were going to get kicked off at 5 Central, 6 Eastern. It's actually 6 Central, 7 Eastern. That means right now, up in Nashville, the women are playing against the Christian Brothers. So we'll try to at least give you some updates throughout the night as that goes on. But main focus here tonight, the men, Clayton State, and the Barry Bucks. So as everybody getting ready, it will be Clayton State in black tonight, trimmed with orange. And a little bit of a different look here as those are more the road jerseys. They just have Clayton State on the back, don't have the names on the back. And the Barry Bucks going all white, and they'll also be trimmed in a bit of orange, although it's not total orange, it's more of a reddish orange. And so we'll see them in those uniforms this evening. Goalkeeper Pinnell wearing a neon green for Clayton State and aquamarine blue, teal, if you will, for the keeper for the Barry Bucks. That is Schiraldi. Well, we're about set here. It looks like it's going to be King out there. Of course, as we said, he's one of the main storylines tonight, being one of the returners to at least see Barry. He was there last year. And we'll get set for soccer. He and Will Summerfield look like would be the two to get things started. So here we go. Welcome alongside once again, and we're off and running. The Barry Bucks, like we said, won last time out. And really no shame for Clayton State. That was a good team, number 5 Palm Beach State in the country. As our first look at Jesse Parsons on defense. Parsons coming out of the shadows. Sort of nice, though. We'll say this about the shadows. It does separate the field. We don't even have to tell you what third of the field they're on as King gets a break, and that'll be squirted away by one of the starting defenders, Mitchell Smith, for the Bucks. But the field almost is separated into thirds. You got the middle third and the attacking and defensive thirds separated by the trees and the sun. You couldn't have planned this any more better. I mean, this is at least naturally. And like we said, the sun will be down here in a bit, so maybe that'll clear up your view a little bit better. As into that zone, Clayton State. And they'll look to cross in the middle, an early opportunity and a whistle. As, let's see, trying to get in there. It was the crosser from Ian Smith. And that was King down there. We have an early whistle, and is this going to be a PK? It is. They're going to call a penalty kick early on. And talk about an ideal setup for Ryan King. From Durham, England, a junior, like we said, played at Barry last year. Started all 14 games and helped the Buccaneers to the Sunshine State Conference Tournament of Championship and defeated the NCAA 2 National Championship champions, Lynn. So here he goes. Penalty kick and in goal. So quickly as the clock at 43:50, like we said, not even 3 minutes into this, a flip for joy and sort of a nice way to get, at least if you will, some sporting revenge is Ryan King. That's his first goal of the year and his first points of the year as well. And a 1-0 Clayton State lead very early on. Well, it's kind of nice when your storyline adds up to what actually is going on in the game, and we were going to highlight Ryan King anyway, and, well, there it is. So that early penalty kick proves costly for the Barry Bucks. And Schiraldi in goal has to be saying to himself, guys, don't put me in that situation, at least early on. That was the first shot he did see was that penalty kick. But an opportunity, knifing through. Let's see, Barry on the run. That's Manuel Perez, a right footer, just wide. Pinnell will let it go. Well, he blasted it through, some accurate dribbling. The shot, though, like we said, a little bit wide to this near side. And so give him credit at least to pick through the defense of Clayton State. Here's Pinnell, the senior goalkeeper from Nottingham, England. He has, if you watched the games before or yesterday, a heck of a leg. That left footer really booms it out all across over to the offensive attacking third of the field for Clayton State. They'll still have possession now on a throw-in as they'll look for Ian Smith, and then Smith, I think, trading off there. He went over to retrieve it and then play it in. Couldn't really see who that was. Apologies there. I think that may have been Alan Parker. They'll play it back now. Pennell again leading his team almost. We saw him yesterday. I really outkick his coverage on one. Across the middle. Trying on that far side wing. And as that will go out, that was going down that far side. See who that was. That was Thomas Combs. Lost control, though, and Clayton State, the opportunity. They lead 1-0. If you're coming in just a few moments ago, you missed Ryan King at 43:50 into this ball game, getting a penalty kick and getting the first goal for him of the season, the first goal, for that matter, for Clayton State of the year. Foul from behind. So Barry commits the foul. And that on King. So one of the former teammates. And I think that was Leo Awakeng, the junior from Lynn, Michigan. Or Lynn, Massachusetts, rather. An interesting team. They play a lot more defensively. Actually, a lot more midfielders, we should say. They fewer attackers, more midfielders, just one or two defenders, and they kind of swing those midfielders versatilely as they'll go either way, playing both offensively and defensively. It's a little bit different as Clayton State now just seeing what they can set up and going back to their keeper, but we did see yesterday with Palm Beach how they like to control the ball, especially early on, and doing so a lot with their defense. Perez had a touch for Barry before it was lassoed back in for Clayton State. Doing a lot of work, Jesse Parsons back there. There's a touch from Summerfield, and they'll lead him ahead. That's Ian Smith. Smith does not keep it in bounds, though. So Smith had an opportunity on the far side wing, but couldn't corral it. And now a touch for the keeper, Schiraldi. Michael Smith right now with that touch back there. You see Smith passing off to this near side. Georgakopoulos goes back to Smith. Georgakopoulos wears the number 17 in your foreground, wearing that face mask tonight. As that's a long swing. Got somebody on this near side wing, but accurately out smartly, Pennell. Ali Pennell was on top of it. They were looking down this near side to Hanno Anthony. Anthony was 5 points already, the junior from Mannheim, Germany. 2 goals and an assist. It's pretty good for one game, so we do watch him. He's that active striker from the near side. Bill Schindler alongside you, a 1-0 score, 38-45 and ticking till the half. Georgakopoulos looks for the pass. Anthony lost control and right at midfield. They'll now feed it to Anthony. Anthony trying to streak down there and cut off, smartly so, by Jesse Parsons. So a throw in for the visiting Barry Bucks. Inside, nice little arm bar there and a push down. Jesse Parsons getting the better and on goal, but covered up by the keeper, Pennell. That was Manuel Perez with the shot opportunity. Pinello, an aggressive keeper, comes out, likes to protect his box, that 18-yard penalty box. And we'll go with the left-footed drop kick. Get all the way down the field. No offsides called. But the defense holding. There's King looking for Smith. Back to the middle. Summerfield lost control. Streaking down the far side. Let's see. What can they do? That's Cato. Cato back. Left-footed shot wide. Manuel Perez took it. The junior from Valencia, Venezuela. We've seen now a couple that have gone to the wide near side. And smartly, Pinnell has let both of those go by without the touch to set up the goal kick. Clayton State with that 1-0 lead. And they did so with the former Barry Buck coming in and getting the penalty kick from Ryan King. High leg, not called. They'll play on. Anthony taken away by Knockley. That's the first time we've called Knockley's name. Knockley down into the near side corner. A slide tackle. And that'll be knocked out of bounds defensively by Linus Fisher, the junior from Berlin. And slow to get up is Balil Knockley. Knockley from Paris, France, a senior, but it'll be thrown in. I believe that's Ian Smith down there. Smith will throw in from the near side. Can't see him on your screen, but he does so. Long throw in into the box. That'll drift by. Nobody there, and finally kicked out. It was in peril for a little bit until Barry and one of the defenders, Leo Awakang, decided to knock it free, and now it trickles all the way down to the keeper for the Lakers in Pinnell. Touch for Parker. We'll see Atkinson there. Connor Atkinson from Liverpool. Home of the Beatles is almost a mandate to say every time you bring up Liverpool's name, the famous residents from there. Looking down that near side, they were trying to find Anthony. And nicely defended. Anthony, though, right there, trying to flip it past his defender. He stays active and stays with the ball. Anthony passes off. They'll look to set him up, and smartly with the right foot to block it was Jesse Parsons. Trickles back to midfield. A touch for Pablo Georgakopoulos. And then he lost control. Looking for a game ball to throw it in. That's Alan Parker, the freshman from Savannah. And throws it in, throws it right off the foot of Knockley. So not the throw-in they were expecting. Knockley couldn't handle it, and it goes right back to the Bucks. And a whistle. King got tripped up there with Linus Fisher. King the guilty party in the foul. Lustig took it, kicks it back. Will work through Michael Smith and then over to the far side with Awakang getting a touch. Leo Awakang, his first name's Leonel. Let's call him Leo. Again, the score 1-0, 33-45 and ticking to the half. Clayton State with the lead. Did so on a penalty kick. Sun setting in the west here as Ian Smith trying to round the corner. Central part of the field right now. Barry back on the attack. There's Combs. Combs with his back to the goal. And some nice defense being played down there by Clayton State. They'll get it out. I believe that was Jordan Knight doing some of the heavy lifting. Lustig puts it at the feet of Anthony. They lost it out of bounds, though. Anthony couldn't hold. And let's see what Parsons will do as the defense trying to clear. Back over there is Jordan Knight, and Knight playing it out to Smith in the middle. And now they'll get into the attacking third, but it'll trickle back to the keeper. So another touch for Michael Schiraldi, a sophomore from Geneva, Florida. Went to Oviedo High School down there, 5'11", 167 pounds. Not the largest of keepers, which lends itself to maybe a chip a little bit over his head. King, though, did not do that, but I'm sure that has been in the game plan. Ziegler's talked about, you always look at keeper height as one of the ways to do some attacking on them and what their weaknesses are. Headed back toward the middle by Connor Atkinson. And King looking to move it ahead. He thought there was going to be a whistle on a handball. Instead, the ball trickled by him. No whistle called, and there's Georgakopoulos. Perez with a touch. Lustig. And now trying to boom it over and get something in that 18-yard box, but there was nothing to be found. I believe they were looking for Thomas Combs. Combs could not break free, and so far good defense being played by Clayton State. Now King was over there, and now trying to move it forward. King was led a bit too far on the pass, and it'll go right back offensively to Smith and the Barry Bucks. Georgakopoulos will drift toward the near side before playing it across center court. Trip from behind. Going down in a heap is Anthony. He's fouled by Alan Parker. The freshman got him from behind. Anthony went down hard. Hard to tell whether that was actually the trip or a little bit of perhaps acting acumen. Let's see here. Pablo Georgakopoulos, senior from Doral. Appeared in 14 games last year, started 9, had 6 assists, looking for 1 here in 2016. Won't find it, at least on that opportunity, is a header back up by Awakeng. And they'll play back to the middle. The center defender now with a touch. And again, Linus Fisher with a little bit of a touch back to Awakeng. Down that far side, Barry crossing to the middle. That's trouble. Nicely knocked away, but the rebound put on goal, and that is again knocked away, but still active. Let's see. Clayton State fighting for their lives, at least defensively, and a whistle, and I think we're going to have a penalty kick. A hornet's nest down there. Man, oh man. Manuel Perez was, I think, one of the last ones to have that shot on goal. I also think, just looking quickly, that might have been Parsons who saved it at least one time. I think there was multiple saves. First it started with Parker. Parsons had an opportunity. Knockley might have been in there too. It was just a whole bunch of players down there trying to get under control. Here's Thomas Combs. Thomas Combs to take the penalty kick against Ali Pennell. And Pennell heels on the line and will dive and cannot corral it. The goal in for the Bucks. And it will be tied at 1 apiece. Thomas Combs, his second goal of the year. The senior from Newcastle, England, gets points number now 4 total for the season. That coming now at 29-47 till the half. We're tied at 1. So now your scoring recap sits at 2 penalty kicks in this game that have resulted in the 2 scores. The first for Ryan King coming very early on, 43-50 till the half. And Combs now 29-47 until the half. So we're all knotted up at 1 apiece. There's King. King, who, as we mentioned, played at Barry last year, tackled from behind, and a foul on Frank Lustig. Lustig from Ingolstadt, Germany. Played 11 games last year alongside King, starting 4 of them. Scored 2 goals last season. Did Lustig, had 4 assists and 8 points. Free kick will be taken by Will Summerfield. Summerfield, a little bit of manicuring to make sure the footing is right. They'll set up a wall of 3 in front of him. Freshman from Bedford, England, left-footed. Off of the wall and up over the crossbars, and a little bit of a leap, but only half-hearted as he knew it was going to go over his head, did Schiraldi, the keeper. But it does go off that wall, as we mentioned, and sets up a corner kick. And again, the man tasked for that is Will Summerfield. So a little set piece. They'll have 4 in the box on the far side, including King down by the keeper for Clayton State. Into the middle. The header is popped out by Georgakopoulos, and it'll be played back to the middle. A touch by Parker for Clayton State. On that far side, I think Knockley had a moment there. Check it was Parsons. Parsons was playing pretty high up there for a defender. Now he's making his way back, and he'll have to hurry as that gets by Parsons. Almost an opportunity there, but no, they'll slow him down as Barry coming quickly into the box was Thomas Combs. And like we said, we thought it was Knockley. It was actually Parsons, and that was swatted away with the shoulder, I think. No call on a handball. But almost a breakdown for Clayton State defensively. Parker shading Lustig. Over the middle, and that's going to be put in. The goal scored by the Barry Bucks. Let's get the number. Was that Lustig? I believe actually we'll check it on the near side. It was not Lustig. I think that was, just looking into the sun here and trying to get it, that was Hano Anthony. Should have guessed that one. And we'll check it. The assist came from Jarrell Cato. So it was Cato with the assist. And Anthony will pick up his 3rd goal already of the season at 27-20. 2-0, the Barry Bucks. Or 2-1, rather, the Barry Bucks. First non-penalty kick goal. Clayton State getting theirs from King. And now scores from Combs and Anthony. Anthony from Mannheim, Germany. Like we said, he had coming in tonight already 5 points and 2 goals. So with his 3rd goal of the season, now the total points in just 2 games, 7. Very impressive. Not sure if that's a pace he can keep up. Parsons plays it out. Anthony had a touch. Sun almost behind the trees. It is at least off the field for the players, but it's in our eyes as if we look over there to the far side. That was out of bounds. Awa Kang, I believe, was the man trying to track it down to the middle. They'll try to get a header in there. Anthony kicking up the scraps, though. Anthony, some fancy footwork, knocked away by Parker, and that will set up a corner kick, though, for Barry. Taking their time to get over to the corner, though. I think Jarrell, is that Jarrell Cato? No, it's Leo Alakang. So Alakang sort of slinks over, finally gets over and sets the ball down and is ready to go as they'll get set. Up 2-1. The Barry Bucks leading over Clayton State. Bill Schindler alongside. Corner kick coming from your near side. To the middle, and that will be rejected at least away by Jesse Parsons. Smith on the run as well. Smith fighting for it, and let's see which way they call it, as he was fighting alongside there with Atkinson, or I'm sorry, I should say with Alakang, Smith and Alakang. King a touch, late whistle. And that'll be called on Clayton State. Interesting call on Will Summerfield. A little late. Summerfield went for the slide to try to knock it through. Summerfield, a birthday coming up, not too distant future, and November 8th. Business major, but Summerfield turned that ball back over to the Barry Bucks. They lead by a goal. Still the first half. 24-18 and ticking on the clock. Georgia Kopolis will have to defend here. They try to go back to King. Nothing there. And now as it trickles out here, cannot be saved. And Clayton State and Knockley will yield now. Knockley won't take it. It'll be Alan Parker to take the throw in. And he goes back to his defender, Jesse Parsons. Parsons, the business major, surveys the situation. Just a little touch pass off to Summerfield. Interestingly enough, they haven't turned the lights on yet. Waiting for that. As the field all of a sudden was soaked in sun, and now still some sunlight, but it's starting to get a little bit dimmer down there. Two 2-0 loss yesterday for Clayton State. Like we said, a quick turnaround. They're scheduled to play on Friday. Came back and had to do it yesterday because of the rain. The inclement weather did break up about 8 o'clock that night, but the field was pretty well soaked. Taken away there. And a whistle. King was trying to turn. King will head on downfield and see if Summerfield can perhaps deposit it to him. Knockley on the near side wing, but Summerfield cut off, trying to figure out which way he can thread it through, and that touch pass then went off the foot of Jake Stevens. We're looking for Parker, and fed him a bit wide. Barry can't get anything going on the offensive third for them. Back through Central, and we'll now see if Barry, as they'll reset the offense by going back defensively, playing it ahead now on the run. And into that corner, not really much over there. Cato's over there. Cato does not lose it out of bounds, almost on that line. Cato gets it high and kicked finally out of bounds by Clayton State. Back to Awa Kang. Lustig a touch before going to Patel. And now here's Fisher. To the middle, the drifter, and picked up by Pennell. Oliver Pennell could see that there was danger coming from his far side, right, and came over to pick it up. And Pennell, they were looking at least to try to lead someone into the zone, but instead went through the defense and right to Pennell, and they were looking for Combs, who's already scored a goal at the 29:47 mark. Georgia Kopolis. Clayton State right now trailing by a goal, and a whistle is a tie-up, and the foul committed by Manuel Perez. So the Barry Bucks at 20-25 till the half will give the ball to Clayton State, and they'll call Pennell all the way out from his goalkeeper position. That's right on the almost neutral third of the field, and the left footer can knock it all the way down into the penalty box. Doesn't set up anything offensively, unfortunately, for the Lakers. And now action back to the central area of the pitch. Bill Schindler with you. We thank you for tuning in. Men's soccer here. And we won't have a broadcast of men's soccer, I believe, for a little while. They'll go on the road. We'll be back at home until September 17th against Lander. Have these two games played here. As we said, Palm Beach Atlantic yesterday, Barry here tonight. Then they go the 9th, 11th, and 14th against Tampa Eckerd and Auburn Montgomery, respectively. Starting to cool off. It was rather warm, especially in the sun earlier. But now probably getting into the high 70s and just a pleasant evening all in all. Barry with that 1-goal lead. Back. And trying to get in there, the ever-dangerous Anthony. Anthony will trickle it on the line, and that'll be finally kicked out as the keeper went to it. And that was Jesse Parsons who got the foot, and the defender cleaned it up. Had he not been there, that could have just rolled right in. Saving the score from a 2-goal lead for the Barry Bucks. And a whistle. King is fouled right at the middle of the field, and that's Perez once again, the junior from Valencia, Venezuela. Perez, a pretty active player. Finished the season tied for the lead with 8 goals last year for Barry. Had 1 assist, had 17 total points. So they don't want to lose him with a card or anything to that effect. 18-25 and ticking till the half. Again, a 2-1 lead coming out of his crease, Schiraldi. And the keeper just puts it out on that far side. We were talking yesterday about how keeper's not only one of the objects trying to stop something, it's the angle that you want to push it out on. Of course, there you have that opportunity to pause to Schiraldi as Georgakopoulos will get a touch. But if you're a keeper, you want to at least try to punch it out away from the middle. We saw that yesterday with the scoring opportunities coming as Schiraldi, a touch. King trying to force the issue a little bit, at least putting some pressure on his old teammates. Well, that was something yesterday where it really got Pennell in trouble. Really had no choice. Had some tough blocks, but the rebounds came right in front of the net. Opportunity here. Shot on goal, and crossing and scoring is Niall Patel. Patel, a senior from England. He had 5 goals last year, his first this season. And just like that, a 3-1 advantage for the Barry Bucks. The only question down there, he had beaten the keeper, Pennell, was could he continue with the angle? We have our first substitution of the match. That will be Shams El Akabawi from Amsterdam coming in. Also, we're going to see Nick Bracey as well. Both of those substitutes coming off the bench for Clayton State. Pete Peterson could not be here tonight. And right now, Richard Craven running things for his squad in Clayton State. Bracey will get his first touch of the match. Knockley being active there. Knockley's been kind of quiet this evening. Haven't called his jersey that much. To the middle, and still alive. They couldn't corral it. Patel, who just scored earlier. And that'll be knocked away. Patel scoring about at that 18-minute mark till the half. We sit at 16:09 and ticking. Pennell with the goal kick opportunity. And they'll be headed down. Our King taking charge. Patel. And was looking over to the near side to Anthony, and nothing there. And a foul on the line. Ooh, let's see. Called by Perez. Well, like we said, Perez probably getting close to a card if this foul's continue. That was his third foul, I think. You could hear some of his teammates say, don't argue, don't argue. Because he had already committed 2 before. And like we said, with his offensive numbers last year, he wouldn't want that. As Narvaez was the one who sent it sailing out for Clayton State. A little tippy-tappy soccer back for the moment. Will Clayton State, till they can look for King down on that wing. Although was stymied. Knockley to the middle, looking for Smith. A look for that far side. Anything brewing down there. And that will be an opportunity squandered. I think that was El Akabawi. Yes, it was. Shams El Akabawi, freshman. Couldn't put it on goal, however. 13:47 and ticking, 3-1. Barry with the lead. Still in the first half of play. Move it over the middle, and we'll just play it back, conceding the fact that there was not much going on there. Positive at that moment in the match. George Akopoulos has it right now. He was the one who sent it back to his keeper, and probably rightly so, just to reset everything. Barry with Anthony. Anthony, right foot crossover to the middle. Perez, a dangerous scorer. Back to Anthony. He'll get by his defender. A right foot back to Perez. And that's knocked away by Bracey. Taken by Knockley. Knockley leading King down the wing. Can he get there in time before it goes out of bounds? Corrals it with the right foot. King back to the middle. Trying to shirk his defender. Back to the middle. Smith, a header. No. Ian Smith came charging in like a ram. And the forward graduate student from Swanee was trying the best he could to find Iglesias the back of the goal. Schiraldi was not tested, though. The header a little bit wide. Down by 2, Clayton State. About 12 minutes left in the first half of this match. Bill Schindler with you. We thank you for tuning in. I know this is a long weekend for most of you, and perhaps getting away from your barbecues and American football on the college football Saturday, watching us. Down that far side. Looked like it may be a little bit too far. Couldn't run it down. I think once again on that far side wing, that was El Akabawi. Ala Keng to throw it in. He is the youngest of four, has three older siblings, does Leo Akeng, Francis, Flora, and Joseph. Anthony. Back to the middle and trying to find this, well, nobody down there. I'm going to say the closest player was Frank Lustig. And Lustig was nowhere in the area. That was one that was more wishful thinking on the pass than reality. And the official blowing the play dead. Let's see, we've got a little stoppage. Equipment check for the Barry Bucks and Pablo Georgakopoulos. Senior from Doral, Florida. I'm going to guess that maybe Georgakopoulos, a Greek last name. Pablo Georgakopoulos. Can't be that many of those out there. That's a unique name, to say the least. And right now, he is going to get everything situated as timeout here called, and everyone getting some water and getting a little bit of a breather. Ryan King having a little bit of horseplay with Manuel Perez, squirting him a bit, his former teammate. King is responsible for the only goal tonight for Clayton State. That coming pretty early on in the match. That was a penalty kick taken and scored just over 2 minutes in at 43:50. Then we saw two goals, one on a penalty kick for Barry, coming with Thomas Combs, and then with Hano Anthony at 27-20. And then finally it was Niall Patel who slammed it home about the 18-minute mark. And that makes it 3-1 as we'll have Carl Addy Jr. coming in for the first time this evening. I'm trying to see who he replaced. Came out during the timeout, but we know Addy Jr. in now. About 10 minutes in the first half. Trailing by 2, Clayton State. Al-Akabawi loses it down the line. He was in a joust outside with Awa Keng. Very nice, pleasant evening on this, what is starting to become fall evening. Pushed away back to the keeper. Pinnell will come out, take it with his feet, and just twist it back out into the far side wing. Al-Akabawi and now Bracey with the touch for Clayton State. And the whistle, Bracey, the guilty party, was, I think, Anthony, Hano Anthony. We're fighting for space, and they'll call Bracey as the guilty party. First touch for Addy Jr. Comes by way of header. Well, right now, as that goes out of bounds, an opportunity again for Barry in the attacking third, but nicely taken away by Summerfield, and he'll lose it out of bounds, though. Linus Fisher will throw it in once more. Fisher. Little touch by Anthony, right back to Fisher. Cuts in behind his defender, left foot crosser, nothing there, and that will roll all the way out to the far side as trying to contain it was Jarrell Cato, and he couldn't do so. Well, I'll say, touched Clayton State. I thought it might have been last touch by Cato, but apparently not. But now El Akabawi will give it to King, and they'll send it down that far side. El Akabawi will lose it once more on that far side, and, well, it'll be Michael Smith to throw it in for Barry. Under 7 minutes left to play in this first half. Not much of an attack really offensively again tonight by Clayton State. Maybe that'll change here. Knockley moving ahead to King. King, the left footer, sends it back to Knockley. Nothing there. Smith, a left footer, just a little bit too high. They were trying to see if they could get advantage of Schiraldi's height in goal, as he only stands 5'11", and maybe just get it in between his head, hands, and the crossbar, but not able to at least put it between all of those was Ian Smith. So still a 3-1 match. 6:40 and ticking until the half. Lost on the outside. And it will be Clayton State soccer ball, and they will hurry a little here. Like we said, in these two matches we've seen so far, Clayton State has not really put up much offense. Knockley was the intended, at least offensive player there. Knockley down the near side wing. Let's see what he can do in the box. Crossing to the middle. That will be knocked away as, I don't know, it's on the line. Did he touch it before or after? After, it'll set up a penalty, or I'm sorry, a corner kick from the near side. A little bit of a unforced error by Schiraldi. Came over, had his foot on the line. Summerfield looks like will be the one to take the kick. Summerfield to the middle. Nothing. Back out. Knockley trying to make something out of this opportunity. Crosses a header to the middle. Smith puts it on goal and in on the far side corner. Ian Smith, his first goal of the season on his first shot. Smith, that shot on goal. Nicely done to make it a one-score match. 5:20 to play till the half. Smith, the graduate student from Swanee. Well placed, especially off the head, and there's really not much that the keeper could do about it. That, again, is Michael Schiraldi. Schiraldi, we did not expect to start. Bo Hogg, the senior from Stuttgart, Germany, played in the previous match. Hogg, who had 2 goals against him, but 5 saves in that match. We thought maybe he would be the starter, and they switch it up a bit here. But still a 1-goal lead, 3-2 for the Barry Buccaneers. Bracey puts it to foot, but goes right back before it's taken away by El Akabawi. Knockley and El Akabawi running with space on the near side. El Akabawi to the middle. Nothing there. That's headed back out by Mitchell Smith, I should say, the defender. There's Bracey. Clayton State would love to tie if they could by the half, but I think right now they're pretty happy with cutting the lead to 1 with 4.5 minutes until we take our respite. And also, I think a little bit of a slowdown by the keeper. I think everybody nearing that time fatigued somewhat, laying on top of it. and they'll call a handball, and that will be on Anthony. He's not too happy, junior from Mannheim. And they'll say, well, a little too fast. That was Addy Jr., Carl Addy Jr., the junior from Jonesboro, Georgia. Went to Georgia Military College before. And so they set it up again, and now with a little bit more thought, they'll give it to their keeper, Pennell. Long boot all the way over to Smith, still in the air. Finally put to ground. King with a shot. King off the top crossbar and in. How did that go in? King, his second goal of the match, ties it at 3. And somehow King, who put it on the near side crossbar, then hit off the crossbar, looked like it might ricochet out, got a friendly hop, went back, and just trickled right into goal. Well, you know, that's what we call the Ryan King factor in this match, because when you played for Barry last year, something like that was bound to happen. Not only with the first penalty kick score for him, he now ties the game with 3:28. And that was just one of those where I don't know what to say. Ian Smith will get the assist credit. Friendly hops. Right place, right time. And luck can be your factor as a foul called in that far side corner. Free kick will come almost like a corner kick. It's not quite a corner kick, but it's around there. It's, maybe I'd say 5 yards from where you would set up a corner. So they can almost run a set piece if they'd like. To the middle, Barry now tied at 3. We'll have to try to clear it out. There's still a shot on goal, but just wide. That one sent in from Linus Fisher, one of the defenders. Fisher can play both defense and midfield, and he was well up, trying to put the pressure on Pennell and the Lakers. The defense holds, and with almost now just 2 minutes left, taking some time is the keeper. Smith had it headed away at the feet of El Akabawi for a moment. A whistle as King was, I believe, offsides. Well, after that offensive possession, Steve McCraff, we should say, not too happy with the officiating. Not exactly sure what he thought was called or not. But Barry had a very good opportunity down there, pushing it ahead. They're now tied at 3, though. Getting close to the half. Down that near quarter. Combs had it for a moment, lost it out of bounds. And we're going to have a corner kick for Barry with 1:14 until we have a break. So really probably the last offensive try for either squad. Linus Fisher. Well, it won't be a corner. It won't be a corner kick. It was a throw-in from really in the corner. Took his time, though, and there's a handball. Either way, it went off of El Akabawi. It went off of either his elbow or his hand, and it went out of bounds. So either way, it was going to be a set-up. They'll call the handball, though, and so it will be a free kick instead of a throw-in. Free kick will be taken by Georgakopoulos. Pablo Georgakopoulos has an angle. This will be interesting. King sets up in front of him. Will he put it on goal or go to the far side? Georgakopoulos puts it near the goal, and boy, he misjudged that. Kicked that back toward Fulton County. Well over the net. 10 seconds left to play, and we're going to be about done here for the first half as the players just letting time tick away. But we are tied at 3, mostly thanks to 2 goals from the former Barry Buccaneer, And that is Ryan King. A penalty shot in to score first, 43-50. And I guess it is fitting with some symmetry that he puts it in last as well in this first half, doing so with 3:28 left to play. So we're tied at 3. Again, King with 2 goals. Ian Smith, a goal and an assist for Clayton State as well. Barry has goals from Combs, Anthony, as well as Niall Patel. So tied at 3, and we'll take a break. We'll be back in a little under 15 minutes for the start of the second half as you are watching Clayton State soccer, all tied at 3 between the Lakers and the Bucks. Welcome back, everyone. Getting set for the second half of play. We welcome you alongside once again. Bill Schindler with you, tied at 3 between the Barry Bucks and the Clayton State Lakers. Hope you had a good halftime. Maybe got a little cold one and sitting back relaxing on this Saturday evening. And just a scoring update we wanted to tell you, pass along. Still 0-0 up in Nashville. Women playing Christian Brothers, which seems like they would say the Christian Sisters for the women's team, but I'm just going to go along with what they have, so they're the Christian Brothers. Fine with me. And anyway, we are here tied at 3. We have seen really Ryan King score those 2 goals against his former team. That has been the at least equalizer to this point. And Barry to get the ball first, as statistically, again, it was Combs, Anthony, and Patel on the Barry side of things getting the score. Saw Smith with a goal and an assist, and King with a pair of goals for Clayton State. So here we are back in action as, again, just to reset, in white trimmed with that reddish orange is Barry, and orange and black for the home Clayton State Lakers. They flip directions. Left to right across your screen will be Clayton State when they attack, and Barry the opposite way, right to left. Elaka Bawi will take it away. He gets the start in the second half after coming in as a substitution. Barry, in fact, did not substitute the entire match in the first half. It's interesting. Makes our job much easier, but you don't see it much. There's Knockley on the far side. Knockley down that far side wing. Let's see what he can do. Trying to pass it ahead. Looks to Smith. Smith flips it ahead, but really nothing there. The keeper will play it back out. Still in goal, that's Schiraldi. Going down there was Summerfield to put a little pressure on, but Schiraldi got to it first. There's Summerfield, closest Laker to it. Bracey, who came in also as a defensive replacement, plays it back out. Still on and well over. That ball, it's on its way to the SAC, the Student Activity Center. That decided to take an exit, literally. Bracey heads it down. To the feet, though, of Awakeng, Leo Awakeng, back to the middle. Well, Barry, 1-0, like we said on the year. Patel, shot blocked, and there's Addy Jr. Still pushing ahead. I think that's Anthony. Anthony outside. Awakeng plays it back out to Cato. Cato, right footer, trying to get it somewhere in the middle. A header right into the keeper's breadbasket. Nicely played by Pinnell. He'll roll it back out to one of his defenders, Summerfield. They'll play it ahead, and a little bit way too far ahead, as they had King down that far side wing. Did not find him as it was too strong, but a fast pace of play for the moment, and at least clearing it from the zone is Clayton State. Like we said, tied at 3, just starting the second half of play. If you're just getting back in from halftime, it's really our first offensive volley we saw of the match. And Elakabawe was tripped, but no whistle. Are they going to call it late? No, they'll call it out of bounds. So, no whistle down there. He's slow to get up, but he's okay. Went out on Barry, and opportunity for Oliver Pinnell. Played 5 games last year, starting just 3, logged only 307 in goal as far as minutes. So had a little experience, but getting some here. Bracey trying to push it ahead to King. King will be flipped down. It'll go out of bounds. Oh, okay. In the direction, I thought that went out on the Bucks, but apparently I was wrong. And as the Buccaneers try to clear it ahead, they'll get it a little bit too far. One of those where they were trying to get to Thomas Combs. Well, the young man has scored these 3 goals for the Bucks. A little bit of hold down there on the near side. Playing a strong defense is Narvez, and they'll lose it out. Well, Clayton State, and a corner upcoming. Looks to be taken. No, actually, it was a throw-in just from the corner. And I think that another throw-in, couldn't see. I think that was on this side of the flag that it went out. Narvez kicked it out once again. Yeah, another throw from the far side, or the near side corner, Awa King. Long throw. Headed in and picked up by Pennell. Had to get by Addy Jr., his own teammate, to do so, but adeptly defended by the keeper. On the run. Barry moving it ahead. Cato had a touch, a slide down there. The keeper coming out, and he got a spike in the face. Let's hope Pennell's okay. Oh, man, Pennell is down in some pain. That was in the box. Trying to come out and getting tangled up with the keeper was Thomas Combs, senior from Newcastle, England, and nicks up his own country mate, Pennell from Nottingham, England. Nottingham, if you've heard of that, I mean, obviously, I think everybody would go the Sheriff of Nottingham would be one of those, but Nottingham has some unfortunate soccer history. That was, of course, Nottingham City, I believe, playing in one of that I was going to say famous. It's really more of an infamous match where I think 93 people were killed in the grounds that wasn't in Nottingham City, but it was fairly close. And that a huge tragedy in England where people were crushed in a stampede. And that has just been sort of at least legislated finally to get some help to those bereaved families. And that happened back, I believe, in the late 80s. It had been quite a while. Now, the good news is Pennell is back up and coming over, like we said, his fellow countrymen kind of giving him a little hug and, so to speak, a my bad. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, I don't think anything malicious there from Thomas Combs, just both players getting tangled up and almost a spike in the face, but Pennell okay. And that's why, ladies and gentlemen, they do not wear metal spikes. 38-31 to play in this match, tied at 3. Header by Barry. Trying to get back on offense. Nicely held, or nicely played ahead to Cato. A little give and receive. Now King had it for a moment. Back to Patel, and Patel will go over to the far side wing. And that'll be out of bounds as Bracy, or Addy Jr., I should say, had the touch. I think that might have been Georgia Kopoulos down there as well for Barry. There's King. King in a foot race trying to get to it. If he can, he's got something. King 2-on-1, though, for Barry. He'll stop, start, back to the middle, looking for Smith, off the defender's legs, and that will now be played back as picked up by Knockley. Knockley for Clayton State. Off of a defender's foot, and that will trickle out as King got a foot on it. And we'll have a corner upcoming here for the Lakers. And that will be taken by Summerfield. Summerfield to the middle. And Bracy, right foot, won't go. It'll go wide. He tried to put it on net, couldn't get it there. Bracy on that ricochet. How many times in soccer do you see it's not the first shot, but the second one that is really the lethal one? We're tied at 3. Final goal coming from Ryan King with 3:28 till the half. He has scored twice here for the Lakers. First at the opening curtain and then almost at the final bow of the first act. Coming with 43:50 in the first half and then at 3:28 left. And that gets by the keeper. That's an open goal, but we'll have a whistle as it went in. But the whistle, and do we have a foul? I don't think it was offsides. I didn't see anybody else there. Do we have a penalty kick? Well, let's see. The official's still blowing their whistles, trying to figure out what it is. Everybody's trying to figure out what it is. I don't know how that can be a penalty. The keeper was in the box. He came out to try to deflect it. It would seem it would either be a foul on Barry, a goal, and I don't know how you get a penalty kick out of it. Unless that's just a makeup call. Well, there's a PK, and I haven't the foggiest. Well, it's Thomas Combs. Combs scored on a penalty kick earlier. Combs scores again on a penalty kick, 4-3. I'm going to just say that's file it under the impression of a makeup call. And at 37:01 left to play, second goal of the evening for Combs. It is his third goal of the season. I don't know who that was exactly called on. I'm just trying to at least recreate it here. The keeper, Pinnell, came out, unless it was called by someone behind. Maybe they call the keeper was out of the box, but that would be a free kick out of the box. He has the right to touch it with his hands inside the box. Not totally sure on that one, but either way, it is what it is. It's called. Like we said, it would have gone in anyway had the whistle not blown. And that's what maybe the thinking is maybe it was just a make-up call, as the whistle was maybe inadvertent. They saw something they didn't see. They decided, well, it would have gone in, so we'll give them the PK, and that way maybe we can kind of even things out. But it is how it has gone. Interestingly, Steve McCraff for Barry wants to talk to the official. Maybe he had a question or two as well. But the Buccaneers do get the goal. 37:01 to play. It is 4-3 with the Barry Bucks on top of Clayton State. Interesting sequence. And a whistle. King, the guilty party. Ooh, on the right shin, down in pain, one of the Barry Bucks. See who that is. Not sure if it's Combs or not. Trying to figure out the number. There we go. That is Patrick Borchert, and Borchert just came in the game. No wonder we were trying to figure out who it was. Borchert started the second half, did not start the first half. So Borchert now in the game defending, a senior from Hagen, Germany, I would believe is the pronunciation. He is okay, though. And we're back to play. And we said the women, at least the last time we checked, were scoreless. And this one, much more action at a 4-3 score. We will take another peek at the score from up in Nashville. And as that'll trickle out of bounds. Still 0-0. They're just getting started in the second half up in Nashville. So we look at this one. The Bucks out on goal. Pennell with the save. Well, that was hammered hard by Frank Lustig. King now over his head into the foot of Anthony. And now back to Clayton State with a bit of a touch there for Summerfield. And now Narvaez back to his own keeper in Pennell. We have not seen that sustained attack really all season long for Clayton State. Been playing a lot defensively. Their defenders has a handball called inadvertently as it goes off of the forearm of Bracey. And Patel will then just flip it over to his teammate Lustig, who booms it ahead. Now that corner, Hano Anthony scored at the 27-minute mark in the first half of play. Beautiful night, just a sliver of a moon out. Stars coming out, clear skies, a little bit of patchy clouds, but nothing to complain about. And as that goes out on the end line, we'll have a corner upcoming with a little set piece for Barry, who leads by a goal, 4-3. It'll be Borchert, Patrick Borchert, the senior, to take it from the far side. And a whistle. I think they want to change out balls here. Borchert toss the first one aside, finds one he likes a little bit better. And with Barry, that 1-goal advantage, had the offensive opportunity here. Knocked away, doesn't even get in. That was Smith, nicely done, knocking it away. Borchert coming back out, flipping it in. The header, wide, just wide. Man, oh man. Down in a heap also for Clayton State. One of the defenders, that is Jesse Parsons. Let's hope he's okay. He got tangled up on that header attempt. I think that was Combs again, who was the one trying to put it on goal. We'll have now another corner, this time from the near side, so they'll go opposite ends. Trying to get the number of who that is. I think that's Georgia Kopoulos to take the corner. Believe so. I'll take the flag out now, put it back in and reposition the ball. And so we'll have a corner from this near side. Georgia Kopoulos gets set to go. And again, that's Smith getting to it. So Smith on both corners has gotten to it before a Barry player in their white shirts could get to it. But they still are on the attack. Anthony looks to the outside, trying to feed it to the wing. Cut off there by the defender, as that'll be Jesse Parsons working it ahead. Now, that's El Akabawi moving it for the streaking Smith, but nothing there. El Akabawi finds himself with the ball again before it goes to Bracey. Back over to the near side and Summerfield. Now on the run, Knockley trying to make a move. Knockley trying to get past his defender. Awa Kang loses control. That goes towards the line. Still stayed in as Knockley has it off a defender, and we might have a corner. I think that went out. Yep, we do. Went out on the end line. He had it off of, I believe, Awa Kang. Down there as well was Cato. So here comes Summerfield to take the corner for Clayton State. Here they go. Clayton State to the middle, and that's just ricocheted right back. Hello, goodbye. That was the head of Thomas Combs rejecting it, and now we'll throw in for Clayton State on the near sideline with Ian Smith taking the honors. Smith to the middle, put to the foot of a defender. Smith gets it back, though, crosses once more, and that'll be knocked away by Anthony. And are we going to have another corner? Yes, we are. Encore for Will Summerfield, the freshman from Bedford, England, majoring now in business. Summerfield to send it in to the middle. No, again rejected with a header. There's Summerfield, though, another opportunity, and kicks it back a little bit too long over to Addy Jr. Alakabawi had a touch. Now he's trying to control, losing the handle on it for a moment. And a whistle. Bracey was coming up and committed a foul, and it will be going for Barry. As the free kick and is that a yellow or red card? Was that red? Oh my, I think that was a red card on Bracey. He must have said something. It is. They'll lose him and they'll lose that spot for the game. Yikes. Wow. Well, that's a unfortunate error for Clayton State. So Nick Bracey, the senior from Madison, Mississippi, 16 games, including 7 starts last year, and really their defensive anchor. A red card, and we'll say goodbye to him for the evening. And now one down, and the coaching staff not too happy for Clayton State, as you can imagine, with, of course, Richard Craven, Paul Young, and Trent Orndorff, who are filling in for Pete Peterson tonight. We want to update you, too. We just didn't see that. We thought maybe the official was talking there. We said, well, maybe he was going to get close to a card, and we were right. Turns out he got one. That was already one of the players for the Barry Bucks, Manuel Perez. He got a yellow card, but not a red card. That automatic ejection. Man, oh man. That's a turn as they're down 4-3. With the clock now frozen at 29:47. It'll start ticking again as we're back to play. Not something you want when you trail. And one of your defenders is now a man short, Clayton State. So they'll play with 10. Knockley gets a touch. Been kind of quiet. Gets it taken away from him. There's Cato to the middle, and he was a little bit behind on his pass. If he would have led his winger a little bit more, well, that could have been goal number 5. At least a good shot on goal, but the pass just not where he wanted it to be. Barry with another opportunity. Again, a little bit too much and played back out by Clayton State. And Narvaez drifting toward the middle, trying to get it down. There's Narvaez doing some work defensively. They'll retreat. Will Barry to the corner. I believe that's Cato. Cato, the right cross. To the middle. Still playing with their back to the goal. Knockley got a defensive touch. Awakeng. Back to Cato. Awakeng watches it go by him to Patel. Patel pushed from behind and a foul called on Smith. Ian Smith, a goal and assist tonight. Trailing by 1. Right now a 4-3 game with under 30 minutes to play, led by Barry. Clayton State in danger of falling to 0-2. And that's wide. Cato had a swing and just, no, kept alive. I thought that it would get over the line. Surely. Does not. Nicely saved. There's Patel. Patel, a right footer, a little nifty work, but just too wide. Tried to play that off the laces of his right shoe, and he just sent it a little bit wide of the right post. That would have been a nifty goal had it gone in, but Patel, well, a little bit too cute by half, I guess you could say, on that attempt. And we expect a boomer from Ollie Pinnell. But that boomer coming out of bounds. Kick it right in to his own bench. Not what Pinnell had in mind. So back for Barry. Lustig had a moment with it. There's Addy Jr. He'll go back to his own keeper and Pinnell. Pinnell maybe a chance for a long shot. No, he'll take it to his own defender, Summerfield, then to Addy Jr. Getting all the actions is Parson. Summerfield. And that's Knight now. Knight. Little chip to Knockley, and Knockley tried to get a foot on it, went out of bounds. A throw in quickly there by the Bucks and Awa Kang. And they played it back to their keeper. That wasn't a good feed at all. Kept it in bounds, though, or else it would have been a corner. That would have been a costly error. And now the Bucks kind of playing a little bit lackadaisical, I think, at least on that position. And their own coach not too happy with that, the way they were at least playing it back in their own zone. Addy Jr. will feed it to King for a moment. King had it knocked away from behind, and so Addy Jr. will feed it on the throw-in. They'll go back to their keeper. Nice night tonight for Schiraldi. Hasn't been tested too much. The times he has, though, he's answered the bell. Really, though, even though the score is only a 4-3 game, and that, I was going to say a foul or a handball. I will say handball on Niall Patel. So Patel was on the ground, and I was going to say it looked like he had gotten a hand somewhere around that. The question was whether he was fouled or not. So Patel from England, who went to St. Francis College, senior. Scored a goal at the 18-minute mark earlier in the game. Played at St. Francis College in 2014 as that set piece goes in off of the far side post and played back out. There's Knockley, but it's knocked away by Ao Keng. And now it's going to be an opportunity for Barry as struggling to get back on defense. Clayton State, they'll slow it down now. Cato is trying to be forced off the ball there by Summerfield. Knockley a touch and a trip as Knockley, the responsible party for tripping up Ian Smith, or I checked that, Frank Lustig, I should say, trying to get to the ball. One more check. That was actually Patrick Borchert, we should say. Want to get that right. Borchert was the one going for the ball. And it'll be Ao Keng. Again, they lead by a goal. Does Barry? 4-3, 23-35 left to play. And we have a little bit of an injury here. Somebody, I think, was either running out of breath and they're walking over. I think they just want to get to their knee and get a substitution in here. That'll be Anthony coming out of the game. Does have a goal tonight, replaced by Ivan Arenas, the freshman from Hialeah, Florida. Went to Dade Christian High School, just north of Miami. So Arenas in for the first time tonight. Like we said, I think other than Borchert, who started this second half, it's only it's the first in-game, let's say that, first in-game substitution while they were playing for Barry. They have not gone to their bench too much. Down this near side sideline. Knockley being played there closely. That was good defense by Awa King. To the feet of Cato. Cato, a right foot slide tackle from behind and fouled by Will Summerfield. And he'll get a red card. Oh, my. And he'll be out. Now that's a two-man advantage in Summerfield. So they can't believe it. Although, I have to say, that was not the smartest play. I mean, he did come around and did not have the advantage, was not in front of the player, came from behind. Could have been dangerous, although a red card does seem like a heavy hand. I mean, that is one of those where, like I said, the official now coming over and explaining why it's a red card. He said there were 2 feet that he hooked around. And that is the reasoning behind that. But like we said, I mean, that removes the player from the game. You lose that now down by 2. That's the second red card handed out. Bracey. And now a red card on Summerfield. There's King. King trying to tie it, looking for his third goal. Can he get a hat trick? King down on the near side, crossing through the middle. Nobody home, and that'll be kicked out, although coming in a little bit late to the party was El Akabawi. We're going to have to do something here now that will be a bit miraculous. Goal is not too much to ask, but 2 down with 22 minutes and less than 30 seconds to play. Smith. Knockley gets it knocked away. Played well there, out of bounds by Awa King. It'll set up a corner kick. 2 men down, Clayton State. Knockley to take it from the corner. The header is knocked back to Knockley. Knockley figuring out what to do with it. Goes to the middle, kicks it back out. And now on the run. Let's see here. What will Barry do with it? And they're tripped from behind, and a penalty as it was an opportunity for Borchert. He was knocked down by Narvaez. And Barry will get the free kick. They try to go a little fast for Patel, but the officials say, no, wait. I think we're going to have 2 substitutes coming here for Barry. The official not letting them sub in, though, yet. So Barry with the free kick. Lustig kicks it back. Now King has it taken away. Opportunity for King. King in the middle is tripped from behind. And so a foul called. That goes on Georgakopoulos, Pablo Georgakopoulos, the guilty party. Well, this will be a free kick from the central part of the field, and let's see who will take it. There's King over there as well as Parsons. Looks like now King will just be solo. Scored twice tonight. Could he tie it and get a hat trick all at the same time? Trailing 4-3, Clayton State. The kick on its way. Far side of the goal. Knocked away by the keeper as Shiraldi with a double save knocked it out. And we'll have a corner kick coming with, it looks like, Balil Knockley to senior from Paris, taking it from the far side corner. Knockley has that headed back. There's really nobody out there. The closest man trying to get to it, one of the defenders for Clayton State, and that was Narvaez. And now the keeper with control, and he'll just roll it back out. Will Schiraldi. Mitchell Smith had a touch, and as we look at the clock, under 20 minutes, 18:49 and ticking. 4-3. Barry with the lead, a one-goal lead. Although with a two-player advantage, I guess in some ways you could say that's more of a, with the two-player advantage, it's more of a two-score lead in some ways than it would be just that one-score lead. You'd probably say with about less than 20 minutes to play and a one-goal lead, yes. But is certainly a comeback as possible, and yes, certainly is here. But with a two-man advantage, hard to be offensive-minded. And down in the box again, there's Barry. Barry with a shot that is deflected and covered up by the keeper, Pennell. Oof. Jesse Parsons down there doing some work to deflect it, one of the defenders for the Lakers. Pennell finally got his hands on it, smothered it. Keeper kicks it out, and it's headed down. King now has it at his feet. Tight roping that near side line. And back to the keeper. So Schiraldi, like we said, has been tested a few times, but okay, King now forcing the issue. Back to Schiraldi. Smith coming in there. They'll kick it back out, trying to force the action a bit as Clayton State, really two players short. That's all they can do. Narvaez, and he is wrapped up and tripped from behind by Niall Patel. Play it quickly. There's Knockley. Knockley to the middle, and Smith had an opportunity but played it wide of the net on the near side. Now that was one of those golden opportunities. Not really sure how many more they'll get. Finally, the substitution is going to be waved in here for the Barry Bucks. It's Maurice Padula. He'll come in for Patel. And we'll have Ander Urquidi from Durango, Spain, and he will come in for number 14, Thomas Combs. So Padula on the back line, Urquidi on the front. And again, just to reiterate, 2 red cards tonight. One on Bracy, or I'm sorry, Bracy, we should say, and Summerfield. One apiece, 2-man advantage for Barry. The keeper come out to take this. He's got the biggest foot on the team. Does Pennell. 15 and a half minutes to play. 4-3 your lead. The Barry Bucks with that advantage. Pennell, a boomer. Uh-oh. Here we go. Barry on the breakaway. Barry on sides. Slid away. Nicely done by Smith. Had he not been there, that could have been some big trouble. It was Urquidi who was the young man that was getting away. Urquidi, this is an interesting note. He's only a freshman. In high school in Spain his senior year, he had 25 goals in 30 games. And I always say, even at that level, I don't care what level you are, when you dominate like that, that's impressive. Toward the middle, there's Urquidi. And the left footer, and that is just wide. Oh, my, just missed. Whew. Man, oh, man. It was just missed just to the side of the goal by Ivan Arenas. Arenas had it point blank, had the opportunity, and just couldn't get it. Under 14 minutes now, 4-3 the Barry Bucks, but threatening with a two-man advantage. And that'll be out. Bunnell. Well, boom it as far as he can. Like we said, tough for Clayton State, down two men. Two of those, both red cards. And that'll be played out on Clayton State, and we'll have a throw in. And, of course, they're going to take their time a bit here as Awa King will throw it back to his defender. Closing in on the final 10. We've still got just over 12 minutes to play. Kicked ahead there. That's Addy Jr. Back to the keeper who wants to just slow it down, Schiraldi. Now this is now what I like they call the tippy-tappy play. And the smart play, really. It's is one of those to put pressure on when you can, as Padula getting one of his first touches since coming in. But right now, with the two-man advantage and the one-score lead, Barry content to force the issue when they can, and that will trickle out of bounds. A goal kick here for Clayton State. We'll go to the bench. Ian Smith will check out, and Connor Atkinson back into the game. But Clayton State, being two players down, that's just tough to play that aggressive offense. That gets away from King, and we'll be going back to Barry. Throw in. No foul called. Still played on. Knocked away, touched by Clayton State. Still going in Barry's direction. They said the last person to touch it was Connor Atkinson. 10.5 to play. In the corner. And Cato had a chance, but it's played out. King led too far by Knockley, and back again. So they just cannot set up at least an offensive breakaway. Trying as best they can, but there's really not much with down two. Most of it has at least been put effort-wise toward being a defender for Clayton State. Coming over to usher it out. It's Clayton State and Jordan Knight. And it looks like we'll have some more subs here. We're going to have Alex Doyle coming in and Francisco Aguirre. So they'll replace Cato and Lustig. So Barry going to their bench, getting some fresh legs out there in the final ticks here. Into the game, returning for Clayton State is Alan Parker. He'll replace Narvaez. Under 9 minutes now to play. 4-3, led by Barry. 2 goals scored by King, 1 by Ian Smith. Smith out of the game. There's King, wearing number 77. There's Addy Jr. Addy Jr. on the far side. And has it knocked away out of bounds. It will be a throw-in on that corner. And Smith, as we just mentioned, a goal and assist, returns to the game. He'll come in for El Akabawi for the Lakers. Combs scored that goal, the penalty shot that made the difference in this game with 37:41 to play. That has been the difference. And that'll be forced back. Nicely played defensively by Alan Parker to Pinnell as keeper. But Pinnell kicking it forward. There's nobody down there, and that will run out of bounds for a throw-in for Awa King and for Barry. Addy Jr. Let's see here. Crossing. Nothing there. Well, they were looking for it. They had King on that far side. Now be forced out of bounds, and Addy Jr. will have a throw in. They'll now trail it off to Smith. Bill Schindler alongside. We thank you for tuning in. 4-3 lead for Barry. That penalty kick put them ahead. It was 3-3 at halftime. And so far, we've seen 2 red cards against Clayton State. And that has put them 2 down, at least to their advantage. And that right footer was shy of the net on the far side. And offside flag. Well, King was down there. Too good to be true, and it was. King had the breakaway, and King was offside. Getting a look at our clock. 5:50 and ticking till the curtain closes. A 1-score advantage for Barry. And right now they are playing to milk the clock, really. Off the header. Played off the abdomen there and down to his feet. Nice play there by Urquidi. Addy Jr. Let's see. Down that far side wing. What can he do? Intercepted there, taken away. And like I said, just so tough with 2 down to get anything going positive for Clayton State. Barry now an opportunity. Aguirre had it, and it'll be knocked away off of a defender, and I believe we'll have a corner upcoming for Barry. 4:45 and ticking. 4-3 your lead for the Barry Buccaneers. Trying to see who that is down there. That's Padula. Maurice Spadula from Fort Lauderdale. Takes it short. They don't even go a set piece. Trying to knife it in. Right footer, far side, and score. Barry will put it away with that goal. And the score from Francisco Aguirre, the sophomore, makes it now 5-3 at 4:28 remaining in this game. So Aguirre, essentially the proverbial nail in the coffin. (5-3), and that not looking good for Clayton State, especially with a two-player advantage for Barry after the 2 red cards called on Clayton State. Clayton State seeing what they can do here. Knockley in the corner. Crossing. Nobody really home there. The only closest player was King. Parker. And was that out of bounds or a handball? It's out of bounds before it came up and hit Parker's hand. Well, no, I'm sorry. It hit one of Barry's hands. So they'll call it a handball on Barry. And Atkinson to take the free kick from this near side. Atkinson booms it toward the net. Can they get a head on it? They can, but it's just too high, and a head back in by King. And the hat trick. And, wow, King gets it in for the score. And that will go with 3:30 left. Well, that would have tied it had they not given up the goal earlier. The hat trick by King, though, against his old team. It's been a dream night for him. He scored with actually 3:28 left in the first half. He scores with 3:30 left here in the second half. Oscar, well, let's see, that's Miles Francis coming in the game. He'll replace Linus Fisher for Barry. 5-4 now your score, but with 3.5 minutes left, is there enough time to tie it? Have they not given up that score just a few minutes ago to Aguirre? This could have been tied. What a night, though, for King. A hat trick. They'll play it back to Pinnell. Let's see here as that will be trickled away. Knockley. Had it for a moment. 2:38 and ticking. Knockley had it for a moment. Back in the air. Barry have an offensive opportunity here. Offsides. The flag goes up. .204. Final 2 minutes, going to be interesting. King plays it off his chest. Headed down by Addy Jr. Offsides once again. Barry Buck's a little sloppy there. Surprised Urquidi was the one called for being offsides. Keeper Pinnell comes way out, flips it in toward the net, and I believe that was off of I don't know if he got a head on or not. It looked like King jumped for it. It went to the near side. I'm not sure if he touched it or not. Either way, it would be out on Clayton State. And that was an opportunity down in front of the net with 1:10 now remaining. Down by 1, 5-4. Barry with the lead. Headed back. Let's see here. Pennell blasting into the air. And a whistle on the far side. We'll stop the clock with 41.7 seconds. 5-4 Barry lead. They're trying to figure out whose ball it is, I think. They finally will give it to Barry. And it'll be out, still going Barry's direction. Final few moments here. 30 seconds left. They stop the clock with 30 seconds on the nose. 5-4. Looks like Barry's going to take this one. They'll overrule it with 22.8 seconds. Back to Clayton State. This is probably their last opportunity. And a foul over on the far side. Andy Jr. getting tied up. 12 seconds. Clock still running. They'll stop at 11.5. Be Barry ball, though, here. Taking their time. 11 and a half seconds left. 1 goal advantage for Barry. Closing moments here. And there's going to be the buzzer, and that will be a 5-4 win for Barry. That will improve to 2-0. 0-2 now, Clayton State. So Barry squeaks it out. What a night for Ryan King, as he scores 3 times. Also for Clayton State, you can credit a goal for Ian Smith. And so we just go through here too, close things out. Combs with a goal. I know Anthony with a goal for the Bucks. Aguirre, the game-winning goal, really, with 4:28 left. Niall Patel had a goal at the 18-minute mark, and Combs, we should say, had 2. So there you go. There's your final score. 2 red cards as well for Clayton State. Really kind of the difference in this game, too, playing with a 2-man down. Well, we thank you for tuning in. Final score tonight, again, 5-4. The Barry Bucks over Clayton State. Till next time, we say so long for now. As Clayton State soccer, men's soccer, they'll be on the road now for the next 3 games, so we'll see when they return. As you're watching here on Clayton State Soccer, I'm Bill Schindler saying so long for now.